million contract that's coming through the pipeline very soon. That's not bullshit.
God bless you.
What's 25? What are you, nuts? We need it. Josh, we can make up the number. We had a billion
You know what?
deal.
You're right. You're right. And you're having a baby. You're having a $250 million contract.
I want to be made in uranium.
Listen, the numbers are supposed to be backed by proof.
Two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A Mother's Dream premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine. It's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the good guys, we're not the great guys. We're just the good guys. Whoa.
We've got expert legal advice here at the Good Guys podcast. Mazel morons. We're here with Limor. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she is a lovely person, and boy, is she a lawyer. We're going to get into all the cases. Let's do this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Limor Mojdehiazad. Now,
Beautiful.
Now, Wald, and I will not be giving legal advice, Josh.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
What will you be giving?
I will just be giving legal commentary.
Very
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Very
no legal
good.
advice here. What do you think? You think she's going to entrap herself? You think she's going to get herself into something?
I'm a moron, but I'm not a moron.
No. You're a smart woman. You're going to give just some legal commentary, no legal advice. I'll throw away my slip and fall questions. And we'll toss those to the side. And yes, just commentary. We started off camera. I mentioned all the morons want to hear about is Karen Reed. I said, who is this Karen Reed? You then said, Ben, what are you nuts? Didn't you watch a Karen Reed documentary with your wife? It's entirely possible that you watched it without me. What? Talk to me about Karen Reed and tell me what she's about.
Yeah, so Karen Reed right now is in the midst of a second trial, okay, for the same allegations. She's been accused of murdering her boyfriend of several years, 2 years they were dating. She's 44, a 44-year-old woman who's facing life in prison at this point, okay? So this is what happened, allegedly. What we do know, the guy is dead. O'Keefe was killed. We don't know how, but on what she's accused of, let me start there. What she's accused of is they had some sort of spat one night. They went to a bar. They both got drunk. She admits she was drunk, possibly drunk driving. She admits to all of that. They went to 34 Fairview. Okay. He wanted to go hang out with his friends.
It's a nice address.
Such
Beautiful.
a nice
Rich.
address. And
Rich.
Yeah.
You know what? And
Good.
such a nice house.
Yeah, you never hear
Such a nice
34 Fairview, Baltimore.
There we
you
go.
know?
No.
There we go. There we go. So snowy night, huge snowstorm. They go to 34 Fairview. She's like, dude, like the lights are off. What's going on? There's no party. Why are we here? Like, I don't want to be here. Let's go somewhere else. He's like, no, my friends are inside. She's like, go inside. Make sure people are there. Like, it doesn't feel like we're welcome here. This is weird. He goes inside. She says that's the last time she ever saw him. She gets pissed that she's been waiting outside for 5 minutes. She drives off. Again, snowstorm. She's possibly drunk driving away. Now, the next morning, news breaks that he was murdered. His friends, now, we're dealing with a Boston cop. So all his friends are law enforcement. Okay?
Terry, Mickey, Robbie.
Oof.
You know.
Boston cop. Like, this is not good. Okay?
He's a state trooper over on, on the Sagamore Highway. I don't even know where that is. We'll meet at Dunkin', we'll get a coffee, and we'll go,
Josh, someone is dead.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So, listen. On their side, what they say is she backed into him and left him for dead. We didn't even know he was outside. Okay? She alleges you guys fucking killed him, put him outside, and now you're all framing me. And why? What would be the motive? Again, Boston cop, law enforcement, and also his grandfather was a cop. We have all of that at play. And you also have someone who was inside the house who at around 2:27 a.m., hours before he was found, did a Google search that says, how long to die in the cold or in the snow?
Yeah.
Wow.
How long does it take? So if 2:27 a.m. is hours before he dies. Why are you searching that? You don't even know if he's dead. So the argument on her side, her defense is, you guys planned this. He was murdered inside the house. The injuries are not consistent with vehicular manslaughter, right? She didn't do it with her vehicle. And it's, to her credit, the images of the injuries that you do see, they look like scratches. They look like there's really no bruise. I would imagine if you're hit with a car, there would be some sort of bruise, right? But she does have a taillight in the back of the car that's crushed, right? They say they found a piece of his hair close to the taillight, which also, yes, on the bumper. So, which also doesn't make sense in a way because this huge snowstorm, but one piece of hair was still stuck on the car when they traveled from that house to wherever they took it to do the investigation. It doesn't make sense. But the first trial that I believe it ended about a year ago at this point, hung jury. No one could convince all 12 jurors of the same thing. So we had a mistrial. Now, they were very quick to let everyone know, we're going to try her again. Sometimes you get lucky. And the prosecution, they figure out that, listen, we're never going to win this. We're done. We're not going to try it again. But they've decided to try her again. Now, the difference between the two cases now is that in between all of this, Karen Reed did that documentary that Ben didn't watch or maybe watched and didn't pay attention to.
Didn't see it. I watched juror number 2 with her.
Okay.
Which sounds kind of similar to this story. I'm not going to lie. But no, I did not see Karen Reed. That said, you gave such a wonderful synopsis. If we can get that synopsis for the rest of these, I feel like I watched it. I don't need to watch it. Okay? I don't need to watch it. That said, she's innocent. Innocent.
So here's what's very, very interesting. So between these two trials, she recorded this documentary. You don't have defendants usually take the stand, and she's not going to take the stand. But what do you have? This documentary full of what you could call her testimony. And she even says at the beginning of the documentary, this is my testimony.
Is it admissible?
It's admissible.
Okay.
It's admissible.
Stop doing these documentaries. They got Robert Durst like this. They're getting her. You're screwing yourselves.
You really are, but fame is a drug.
Let's take a step back then. So quickly, because the cops thing, all right, what are the cops, they accidentally killed their friend or they killed the friend? What do they have against the girl? Do we know? Is there some beef going on between like the cop friends and the girl that, happened before this night?
Great question. As far as I know, from watching the documentary, they all loved Karen. All of them loved her.
She seems like a fun time.
She seems like
she's a bit of a smoke show.
Listen, you know what my husband Richard said? He said she looks like Diane Lane, and he's right. She does look like Diane Lane.
Say less.
She's gorgeous. Okay, fine, whatever. So I think that also plays into it. This is very much a trial by media to an extent. I don't know how clean this jury is after such a spectacle of the first trial, but I do know that, and I'm biased when I say this, it's very obvious. Cops are cops. They have egos. They're not going to let one of their brothers just, he's dead. They were there. You're going to look at us. We didn't do it. We protect people and we protect our own. So part of the argument is maybe what they're saying is she left him in the snow, right? She hit him, left him in the snow. That's how he died. She's saying they must have gotten to either an argument inside and then put him out there, or they got in an argument inside and then he stayed outside. Right. And he just froze in the snow or whatever happened. They're not pointing to anyone else. That's the issue. There's no one else they're pointing to. Karen Reed, for the defense, is obviously pointing to the cops, which is a big, that's a big obstacle. I would imagine in a place like Boston, but she has all these fans outside of the courtroom every single day, even for the second trial, to listen to the same shit.
But why would these cops lie? Like, maybe this is just like a window into the way that I feel about cops in general. Like, I think there are some bad apples, but I think cops are very truthful. I think the reason that they sign up to be cops is to protect the integrity of the law. It's very confusing to me. Is it possible that he slipped, fell,
but Ben, can I just push
was
back
in the snow
on that for 1 second? Going with your line of thinking, though, no one was on duty, right? Everyone's drunk partying, right? So yes, hopefully that morality is embedded in them, but they technically weren't in uniform. They weren't on the job. This was what could have been drunk, dumb people in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And let me correct you here.
But you love her, and then you're framing her. Very strange.
Well, they love her as the girlfriend of the friend that they probably love more. They want justice for his family. I mean, listen, if you watch the trial, you see his family in the courtroom every day, which really pisses me off that they're doing a retrial because this family has to sit there and listen to all of this. And what's even more tragic is that O'Keefe was so backtrack, his sister passed away from some ailment. I don't remember, and I don't want to get it wrong. She had 2 children. Her husband died 2 months after she passed away. O'Keefe took on the role of the parent for these 2 kids, and now he's gone. So if there's ever a scenario where people want justice, it's something like this. This is what it looks like. And I have to disagree with you, Ben, that I don't agree that cops are the ones who protect the integrity of the law. They rarely know the law. I'm sorry. They really just know what they need to do. They don't know the elements of certain things. They just don't know. I have so many clients who call the cops when there are domestic violence incidents in their homes. And the cops say, you need to get a restraining order. We can't do anything. They just won't do anything. It's just, are they in the mood to arrest someone? They kind of think that domestic violence incidents are just very petty. They're just, low bar for them, or low brow, whatever it is. And I don't think that they are the ones who are protecting.
Is it the
law.
Prosecutors? Are they the true justice warriors, the DAs, the people who, pursue the charges?
I think so. And I think that the defense attorneys also are, because we're on different sides, and we interpret. That's the funny thing about the law. The law can be interpreted in a number of ways, right? So you have the prosecution saying this was 2nd-degree murder, this was vehicular manslaughter, she also left the scene of the crime while intoxicated. And then you have the defense saying, listen, if the burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt, there are holes in what you're saying. You can't put someone in prison for life if there is even one hole in your argument. The biggest hole that the defense is playing is someone else could have done this.
Did she have any priors?
I don't think so.
Was she clean?
Good question.
She was clean?
Yeah. Here's another problem. Here's another problem. At the beginning of the documentary, remember, it's for entertainment purposes, right? The beginning. I swear to you, it's in the first 10 minutes. Ask Claudia, and then have her FaceTime me because I'm obsessed with her. Within the first 10 minutes of this documentary, she's saying, oh my God, when I heard that he was dead, I thought, oh my God, I was kind of drunk. Did I reverse and hit him? Oof. Was there some sort of sound that I didn't hear and I left him there and his head hit the curb and the this and the that and the that? She started to question her own memory of what happened also, and felt a lot of guilt. Did
you guys see juror number 2?
I actually didn't.
This is the exact plot.
Are you confusing it?
No.
You actually watched the Carrie documentary.
This is juror number 2. The plot of this it's the same thing. There's a guy, he's out at a bar, he goes, it's a rainy night, it's not snowy. They're over, he thinks that he sees a deer. He actually hits a woman. She falls over the banister.
What does that say about the woman? Yikes.
She got into a fight.
Ouch.
She's walking alone,
She looked like
Josh.
a moose. Sorry.
Well, you're a good guy, not a great guy.
She's walking alone, and he doesn't realize that he killed her. He actually thinks he hit a deer. And then through all of this, he finds out that he hit this woman. This is the same thing. Olivia, did you see juror number 2?
I did not see juror number 2.
What
I'm so
fuck?
sorry.
This was a huge show. This was a huge show. I saw a huge show. None of you guys saw this huge show?
I guess it's not huge.
I've never even seen The Office.
Don't tell Rain. This was a huge show. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Nutrafol. Folks, it's the summer, and you know what that means. We're going to be frolicking on the beach. We're going to be wearing gorgeous sets. That's right. You can see me in like a clam button down with some clam, beautiful board shorts. I don't know why I said board shorts, bathing suits. What are you, nuts? We're going to be out there. My hair is going to be in the wind, and you're going to see a full head of hair. You know why? Because I take care of my hair with Nutrafol. The fact is, folks, we're in our 30s. There are so many different reasons for shedding. That said, you need to get on top of it. It's not a problem that it's happening. It's a problem that you're not doing anything about it. You need to do something about it. And the thing to do is Nutrafol. You may have heard of Nutrafol's hair growth supplements and wondered, do they actually work? It's a fair question. Many hair supplements overpromise and underdeliver, but Nutrafol is different. As the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, it's trusted by over 1.5 million people and is clinically tested to deliver real results in just 3 to 6 months. Folks, thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach is a complete, what are you, nuts? Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men and women that are tailored to different life stages, such as postpartum or menopause, and lifestyle factors such as a plant-based lifestyle or even a keto diet, keto season, so you can get just what you need. Plus, users of Nutrafol Men reported no impact to sexual performance, thank God. So folks, start your hair growth journey today with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code GoodGuys10. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com/men, spelled NUTRAFOL/men, promo code GoodGuys10. That's Nutrafol.com/men, promo code GoodGuys10.
What do you think? Is there a slight reflection to, is she able to have now been fighting this the second time because she has the means to, I mean, she's paying for this gigantic badass defense counsel, right? Like if she had a public defender, there's a good chance that she wouldn't be here right now, right?
That's a really, really good point. And not to name drop, but I've worked with Alan Jackson before. He is the lead defense attorney. He is so kick-ass. Everyone wishes they could afford him. I think that at this point, he might not even be getting paid, to be honest with you.
PB.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, that pro bono life. Listen, I think he's doing it because he really believes in this case and the injustice that's occurring. And listen, not for nothing,
it's pretty good publicity. Let's be honest.
Publicity. As far as I knew Alan Jackson, he was just a hot shot in LA that we would call, right? If you have a restraining order, you need to defend all of that or prosecute.
Is it like a Garagos or Robert Shapiro type? Okay, got it.
Yes, exactly. And he's, if your client's rich, you call Alan Jackson to figure it out. Yeah.
Did they become badasses because of just their ability, or is it their relationship with the people? Like, if you are a badass LA attorney with the district attorneys, with the judges, that they just have a shorthand?
It's a very good question. It's absolutely the people you know. 100% the people you know. And I'm not saying that they can do something underhanded or secretly or anything like that. But if you don't have access to an Alan Jackson, even if you have the money, you have the funds, you have the access in that way, but you don't know that he exists, you're just going to get whoever, you call the state bar and they give you a criminal defense attorney.
I think he was more asking, unless Josh, I misunderstood you, is it more about who Alan Jackson knows that he becomes the guy, or is it based on who he's worked with in the past? Is that right, Josh? Or is it different?
Kind of both. Yeah.
Okay. So Alan, even knowing, so she initially had hired attorney Yanelli, I forget. And he had her call, I believe, again, I forget, a Harvard some professor at Harvard who knew Alan Jackson and was like, you need to call Alan Jackson. Why Alan knows this professor, I don't know. It was the Kevin Spacey connection because Alan Jackson also represented Kevin Spacey. Right. And got him off. Not got him off, but got him off.
Sure.
And so, everyone knows him and he knows everyone. So you Yannetti brings him onto the case because we have Alan Jackson power. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And lest anyone think I don't want to sound that I'm being critical of public defenders because many of them are doing God's work.
Absolutely they are.
They just have limited bandwidth because they're government employees.
Yes. Again, if you watch the documentary, you would see the war room. Okay. This is where if you have a months-long or weeks-long trial at a courthouse, you have your room where that's your office. That's your conference room. That's everything, right? Alan Jackson lives in LA.
Yeah.
But he's in Massachusetts doing this trial. You need that. What Alan Jackson and his team can do is not what the public defenders can do. Okay. They're sitting there till 3 a.m. timing the closing argument to make sure it's under 1 hour so they get every single word in. The prosecution, and Alan Jackson did an excellent job the first time around with that closing argument. What happened with the prosecution? The state, they went over the time. The judge cut the prosecutor off and said, you're done. No more closing argument. And he said, I have one last sentence. And he gave his last sentence. But there was no mic drop. You need a mic drop. Karen Reed trial, all eyes on you. You need a mic drop. So for this second, for the retrial, that attorney, I believe, is now second chair. And there's a new prosecutor who's doing all the work.
He's like, I have one last sentence. So was the mic drop of like the OJ trial, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit?
Right.
Because I know
That's exactly
25 years later.
Exactly
So
it. That one hole, you just need one hole because beyond a reasonable doubt means this is sealed with a kiss. This person did it. We know they did it. We have no questions about it. Beyond a reasonable doubt means you cannot point to anyone else. And I think, even though I'll say this, there are also voicemails from Karen to O'Keefe that same night after she allegedly leaves the 34 Fairview, where she says, I fucking hate you. You've ruined my life. You're the worst person ever. Whatever. Now, you can think she killed him and then did this. Or you can think she thinks he's still in the house ignoring her. And she's like, fuck you. I left. Fuck you. I hate you.
Right.
Based on juror number 2.
Let's bring it back to juror numero dos.
I am 100% sure that she accidentally hit him with her car, backing up, left, has no idea that she hit him. He went unconscious into the snow, froze to death. And this is an accident. This is an accident.
What about the Google search? Why is anyone searching how long to die in the cold?
And Ben,
because guys are dumb and weird. We Google weird things.
It was a woman.
McCabe,
Even worse.
McCabe, right?
Yeah.
But Ben, remember, it's a house full of cops, and it's not the city, right? It's a beautiful, quiet suburban street. You hear a bang at midnight.
I don't think it's a bang. I don't think it's a bang. You said that it's in the snow.
But it hit his body, right? Like, you don't come outside, like, and your boy was texting you, like, I'm on my way. You saw lights in the drive. You heard that car. You're not like, what happened? You don't check?
That's an interesting thought as well. I am thinking, though, like in basketball, you have a non-contact injury. All of a sudden, the guy tore his Achilles, and it didn't look like he even got touched. Maybe he just got hit in the wrong spot. All of a sudden, he's on the ground. Well, he's buried under the snow. They can't find him.
It's why. So I'd love to know,
This is very troubling.
If it's troubling, then you cannot say she's guilty.
Of
if
course,
you have any seed of doubt, you can't be 100% sure.
Let me clarify. When I said that she hit him and left him for naught, I was not saying that she was guilty. This was a complete accident. This is a complete accident. This is a mistrial. Rip it up.
If this is a mistrial again, can it be what's the word? Like they did it with after the Rush shooting with Baldwin, with Alec Baldwin, right? The judge said this cannot be retried again.
Right.
Can they do that with it in this case?
Yes, they can do that. It depends on what is the reason for the mistrial. So we had a mistrial initially in the first case because of the hung jury.
Yes.
So Alec Baldwin, it was really the prosecution playing dirty, not handing over evidence, not giving them discovery. It's like, what are you guys doing? Right.
You really have to change that name, hung jury. It's just strange. I'm now over here thinking that the jury's got huge cocks.
Oh my God.
Sorry. This is a mother.
That jury is hung.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Juror number
That was
2,
so
the hung jury. It's a porno.
It's a porno. Okay. Yes. And you didn't watch it. You let your wife watch it by herself.
The hung jury. The hung jury. That's funny.
Oh my God.
What goes into in preparing someone like Karen Reed? Like her outfits are giving. Olivia, am I right? Like,
Yeah.
How much thought gets put into how she's gonna look? What's she gonna present when she's on trial?
A lot.
Really?
A lot. You always want your clients to just look polished. That doesn't mean if we're going to court for a simple hearing that you're wearing a full-on 4-piece suit, but business casual, right? And Karen Reed, I mean, we're at the point where we have seen these legal circuses play out. People are picking at everything, right? So she was even arrested this second time, and she's like, can I go change? I'm literally not wearing underwear under these pants. I'm wearing little slippers. And the cops, when they walk away from her, they're like, she cares about what she looks like. And she's like, I'm going to be on Channel 4 News looking like this because she knows. And listen, it's true. Women, okay, get the wrath of this. So for her, again, what she says on the documentary, she's like, I got all these suits. There's only really 4 nice suits for women. Now I have all these dresses, and this is what I'm going to wear. And not for nothing, it's also the mentality of, I don't know if you guys grew up like this, but we're going to the doctor. Dress up a little bit. It's a doctor. It's a professional, right? You're going into a courtroom. People are watching you, how you blink, how you flinch, if you flinch, right? So there's a lot of thought that goes into what she's wearing, what her attorneys are wearing, okay? And I think one of the reasons they switched the prosecutor is because this new one is a lot more polished than the other one, unfortunately. And it's just, when you see certain people, you're judging them. And when you have a months-long or weeks-long trial, the jurors are getting bored. They're going to look at her the whole time and just, sometimes you look at someone and you're like, they could have done this. I know they did this. You're not even listening to the evidence. You're just looking at them, judging them. Maybe your dad had an ex-girlfriend who looked just like her and she was this big bitch. And you're like, I know the type. I know the type, right?
Yep.
So you even tell, sometimes you tell your clients what expressions to make or not make.
And is the jury isolated? No.
No,
they're
I don't
going
think
home
so.
at the end of the day.
Yes, they're going home.
Okay, so because
I believe so.
That can add an extra layer where you're like, I want to go back to work in my life, and I've been here, and I'm over it. Like whatever. Let's just get to which shouldn't be, but people can get that way.
100%. We saw it in the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial. I believe at a certain point we were getting close to Memorial Weekend, and the judge was like, let's look at our calendars. No one wants to be here on this day or that day. I have a conference the other day.
Shout out.
Yeah.
What a judge. He's like, I'm going to Ultra.
She
jealous.
She.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are we really supposed to believe that none of these jurors have heard of this or seen the documentary, though? Isn't that supposed to be a precursor that they go into this completely blind?
Yes. And guess what? That circus they see outside, right? We love Karen, free Karen. That leaves an impression too. So
you're also researching. This is baloney. Like it doesn't make any sense. That's why I had asked in the beginning, is the documentary admissible? Because it's a Netflix documentary and you just happen to be scrolling. It's not like they're not allowed to watch TV. Right. They're on Netflix or whatever streamer it was on. It's promoted. It pops to the top. They see it. They click on it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you try this again if everybody already has seen the documentary.
Yeah.
Except for me, who saw the adjacent documentary, juror number 2.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
It is amazing. Like, I remember my boy Jaime, shout out Jaime in heaven.
Okay.
Shout out.
But I remember Jaime got picked up for, I don't know what it was, drugs, something minor, but like he was in the San Fernando jail, which is like the sticks of the San Fernando Valley. You don't want to get put in jail there. And he was sitting, like they were like, you're going to sit now. And our boy Eric, shout out my boy Eric, who's a criminal defense attorney. We were like, Eric, we know you get paid the big bucks. Jaime needs you. This is going to be PB, baby. This is your good deed. And I'll never forget, like, it went from Jaime, like, sitting in a cell to Eric walking into the courtroom, looking at the DA, going, can I talk to you? And Jaime was out. Within like, I mean, it like couldn't have been a quicker deal. And maybe that would have happened for him, but it wouldn't have been that day.
Yeah.
Like it would have been days, weeks, perhaps.
No,
it was
so,
all the difference.
Yeah, that's an example of what you guys were speaking about before, just knowing the right people. So if you're in the prisons and the law enforcement offices, in and out, the courthouse, in and out, you know the players, right? So in every field of the law, if you know the players, it's going to make a difference. Even if you know just a clerk, you see them all the time, you're checking in all the time. If you tell that clerk, listen, I'm going to be an hour late, they'll just make a note of it. If they don't know you, they're going to be like, no, it starts at 8:30. You have to be here at 8:30. Get away from me. I have other people in line. Right.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference.
And to your point, too, about what you dress like, I remember I went to traffic court once. Represented myself. And
a pro per. Oof.
And I wore just a button-up shirt to show respect to the court. Like,
there we go.
Nothing crazy. But this is traffic court, dog. So people are there like in Timbs and like hoodies and whatnot. I will never forget this, that I'm there and a guy is fighting a red light camera ticket. And he goes, Judge, I swear to God, that wasn't me. And the judge looks at the photo, looks at the guy and goes, you're wearing the same sweater.
No.
I was like, damn.
Maybe it was his only good outfit.
It's coincidence. You know what I mean?
Terrible. Those stupid fucking cameras are terrible. They get me all the time. They're awful.
Oh, that sucks.
But wearing the button
city.
up and saying like, I was like, Your Honor.
That's exactly right.
And I just saw her like demeanor change and go like, okay, what do you have to say?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, you still got to pay the fine. I was like, bet.
You have to show deference to the court. You have to.
Right.
You have to.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at OpenPhone. If you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a plumbing emergency. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Or call the next one on the list. Chances are you moved on because you're not nuts. With OpenPhone, you'll never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers because OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines and scales your customer communications. It works through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or using a landline. With OpenPhone, your team can share one number and collaborate on customer calls and texts like a shared inbox. That way, any teammate can pick up right where the last person left off, keeping response times faster than ever. Plus, with an AI-powered call transcript and summaries, you'll be able to automate follow-ups, ensuring you'll never miss a customer interaction. Again, AI is amazing. So whether you're a one-person operation drowning in calls and texts, or have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, OpenPhone is a no-brainer for you. See why over 50,000 people trust OpenPhone to manage their business calls and texts. OpenPhone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/goodguys. What a great offer. That's OpenPhone, OpenPhone.com/goodguys. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Prolon. Folks, Prolon is it, okay? Because look, we all love indulging, but we know when our body needs a reset. And Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet delivers on that reset. And now, folks, they've upped their game with Next Gen, packing the same science-backed benefits into a cleaner, more convenient, and tastier format. For those of you that don't know Prolon, what are you, nuts? I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown, okay? Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, and beverages designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. That's right, folks. You're eating while tricking your body into thinking it's in a fasting state. It's completely genius. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed over decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top US medical centers, Prolon has been shown to support biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. Folks, when I'm craving a real reset, Prolon is the only nutrition program that works for me. It's convenient, backed by Nobel Prize-winning science, and it totally works. Again, you are not fasting, but you're tricking your body into fasting. That's the kind of science that I can absolutely get behind. So, folks, to help you jumpstart a plan that delivers real results, Prolon is offering Good Guys listeners an exclusive chance to be among the first to try Next Gen with 15% off site-wide plus $40 in bonus gifts when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/goodguys. That's prolonlife.com/goodguys to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/goodguys.
So speaking of looks, let's transition to the Diddy case, because what we've heard is that, and with federal cases, they don't allow cameras in, right?
Wait, let's just decide, did she do it, did she not? Well, Josh, do you think she did it or no?
I'm gonna say no, because as attorneys like us know, Esquire, is that isn't the saying it's better that 9 guilty men go free than 1 innocent man goes away?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no. I think there's a shadow of a doubt. I see a shadow.
Okay.
Same. This is not a beyond they're not meeting their burden of proof.
I believe that she should be freed. I don't know if she did it or not, but there is not enough evidence to tell me that this woman should go to prison.
Wow. You should be a juror and
Wow.
you should be appointed the foreperson. That was brilliant.
Great.
Perfect.
Great. I'm in.
Perfect.
Good. And I haven't seen it. I'm the perfect juror.
You're the perfect juror.
Put me in.
Ben would be the greatest foreman for a jury because, first and foremost, he'd be like, listen, before we go in deliberation, can we have a spread? Okay. What are we talking? You have peanuts here? Can we get some cold cuts? We're near
That jury would be well fed. We're going to have a weigh in day 1 and a weigh out. She's innocent and the jury gained 50 pounds.
Oh my! Let me say this since we're on this topic, and now I can say it, even though I'm going to embarrass my husband. You mentioned, Ben, the Peter Luger sauce.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yes,
great,
fantastic.
So I'm Sephardic. He's Ashkenazi. You guys have a thing with horseradish. We don't have that thing with horseradish.
Sure.
So once he heard about this sauce, he ordered it. He said he's like an A1 sauce fanboy. Okay.
And does he agree this is the #1 steak sauce?
I even agree. This is the #1 steak sauce. I put it on chicken nuggets the other day.
This is the #1 steak sauce. It's not even a question. This is the #1 steak sauce.
I had never even heard of it.
It's good stuff.
It is so good.
It's excellent.
Good job.
Excellent.
Good job
Yeah,
on
so
that.
I'd bring some Luger sauce into the jury room.
Yeah. He'd be like, I know the state has no money. My father's a caterer.
I'll do it pro bono.
He's going to bring a case of vodka sauce. He's got half of it at my house already.
Pro bono catering.
Oh, that's so good.
Funny.
That's so good. They need catering.
Okay.
Those poor jurors.
Okay. So she didn't do it. Now we can move on to Diddy.
Someone who did do it. No.
Clearly. For sure. Like,
what we're hearing a lot from the reports is that, from the courtroom, is that he's all gray. He's wearing kind of like cardigans, like almost aging himself a bit. What do you think about that?
I think it's kind of smart. You kind of make him look a little helpless or a little, it's an old dude. He's not doing this to this young little, she's not a minor, but to this little girl. He didn't do any of these things. He just has some fetishes, whatever. There was also, an issue with Cassie is pregnant. So the defense argued to the judge, we don't want her walking into the courtroom and taking a seat. We want her sitting down when the jury comes out. We don't need them to see her 8 months pregnant. And the judge was like, no, she's walking in.
Yeah.
She's going to be pregnant, and they're going to see that she's pregnant and testifying. So that was a big issue for them too.
They should put her in a fun shirt like bun in the oven. You know, fuck yeah. Give me a break.
Yeah. So
It's interesting that you said that him looking older could play to his advantage. To me, if I look at what Diddy looked like and look at Diddy now, that is a man whose secrets are eating away at his insides.
Ooh.
That is a man that is so fucking stressed and so guilty that he is literally going to pass away from the stress. So seeing him like that tells me everything that I need to know. Because if he was innocent, which he's obviously not, I think he's like, oh, like confident walking in, like I didn't do this, and he is guilty.
It's very,
It
very,
is.
very, very interesting. What about the perspective of he's a rapper, they look a certain way, he has bad boy entertainment, and he comes in this crippled old man.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
The problem is that we know, like last year when it initially came out and he wasn't in jail yet, but he had been charged and his mansion had been raided. He was like riding bikes in Miami and whatnot. Like, if I'm the juror, I go, yeah, you haven't had this decline in 9 months. And regardless, what does that have to do with what you've done over the last 2 decades?
That would be a great juror, right?
Yeah.
But you would also hope they didn't see any of that footage. Right.
Because got it.
Yeah. So, another thing that bothers me as far as looks and optics is his children. Again, they're not minors, but his children are in the courtroom. For what? These are disgusting allegations. I've even refrained somewhat from posting on TikTok about this case, even though I told my audience I will go day to day, because the allegations are disgusting. And there's evidence to corroborate these allegations. I don't want my children, whether I'm innocent or guilty, whatever it is, I wouldn't want my kids to hear any of this.
Right.
None of it. But he has his kids in the courtroom and they're dressed to the nines too and all of that. For what?
It's the same thing that you said about his looks. It's like if he has a united front, so he thinks, and his kids are there and they look good and they're hearing this, they're there to support dad because he didn't do anything. Like that's obviously what the thought is.
Yep.
Even though they have to be getting paid. Like there probably was some conversation, like if you don't show up for me, I'm not giving you any of my money.
Your allowance is cut off.
Your inheritance, like he still has an unbelievable amount of money. No matter what happens in this case, he has an unbelievable amount of money that would go to them, right? So that would be that would be logical to me. Do we need to explain to the audience what's going on, or we're saying that they're aware of Diddy, and if they're not, they have their head in the sand?
Let's see if I can do it.
You're
No
crushing it.
No problem.
Yeah. I can do it. Sexual assault, trafficking,
No,
peeing in
don't do
people's
it.
mouths.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Penis-sized Tootsie Roll.
Quiet.
don't do it.
Jury, shut up.
So now we have Diddy. He's being accused of sex trafficking, Rico charges, and transportation to engage in prostitution. So sex trafficking is engaging in sex by being coerced. You're being forced to have sex, okay? The racketeering charge, Rico charge, is a racketeer influence and corruption organization. So what the feds are alleging is that he used some sort of enterprise to do all of these things. Kind of think of the mafia or mob, right?
It was created for the mob, this kind of charge,
That's
right?
exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. So we have one side where it's like, well, it seems like a one-man show. You can't have a one-man Rico. I guess you can. It's not ideal. If you're the prosecution, it's not ideal. But what they're alleging is bad boy entertainment. Every other company that has to do with Diddy was somehow involved in this. There had to be someone that was organizing, getting these sex slaves, sex workers, however they categorize each individual. Someone getting the hotel rooms, knowing what's going on. Someone buying the baby oil. Okay. Someone cleaning up the hotel room. Someone paying the charge. It's a whole enterprise and people know what's going on. And it's just, organized crime. Okay. And then the transportation for the prostitution is just bringing in people to have sex with X, Y, and Z. Just
flying
across
people over state lines. What is the defense's strategy with this?
So you mentioned Mark Garagos. I believe his daughter is on the defense team. What they are saying, or what they've said so far in their opening statement and some of their cross-examination, is you guys will hate Diddy. He's not a great guy. He's not even a good guy. Okay. He has committed. Okay. I just smelled your mic. He has committed domestic violence, possibly. He has engaged in freak-offs. They're not illegal. He has kinks. Not illegal. Treats his lovers like shit. Not illegal. He likes baby oil. Not illegal. Their defense is he may have done some disgusting shit, but it doesn't rise to the level of sex trafficking, Rico, and transporting people for prostitution. He's not guilty of these things, even though he's horrible. If you charged him properly for domestic violence, this, that, and the other, maybe, but not this. You're not winning on these charges.
Are they right?
I don't think so.
Because it is like, as you say that, like, wouldn't you just rather like him go away for the things that he for sure did versus this enormous, like maybe he did this huge organized crime situation, but wouldn't you just rather him be like a known scumbag?
That's a good point. Here's the problem. We don't.
And are you able to retry? Sorry. Are you able to retry him? Let's say that this doesn't go the way that he wants to. Are you able to retry him for these lesser crimes?
So the criminal charges, a lot of them, the statute of limitations has expired. Okay. And we know that Cassie settled her suit for $20 million.
Yeah.
Right. And she has said on the stand, I would give $20 million back to undo all those freak offs. Right. So we're at a point where this is the evidence they have. This is what they can get him for. It's kind of like OJ going to prison for stealing back his memorabilia or whatever happened in that one case, right? It's like you didn't get him for the murder. Everyone thinks he's a murderer. Put him to jail for something. Put him to jail for something. So part of the defense is also, yes, you've overcharged him. You've overcharged him. You guys just want to put a bad guy in prison because he's a bad guy without actually meeting the burden of proof here.
Sure.
So that, it's a good defense. It's not a great defense. Just the things we are hearing, the testimony we're hearing is just so disgusting and repulsive. And like you said, 1% will get him there. They want, they show text messages from Cassie saying, when's the next freak off? Oh, I'm ready. Oh, that was so good that night. Listen, we're talking about over a decade of this type of these types of actions, right? I don't care if there's 3 text messages in 10 years where she said, let's go do it. I don't care. We're talking about marathon sex parties, okay? No one wants to engage in those day after day, day after day, day after day, getting UTIs, which is what she testified to, being on her period. They are saying, okay, there's testimony that says, we had to put down linens when I was on my period and we did these freak offs and they were drenched in blood and bodily fluids. Diddy would get these outrageous hotel bills because every single hotel room we stayed at was trashed at the end of every visit, every stay.
And when are the rest of the people that are clearly involved in this going to come? Like, when are they going to be held accountable too? Like, I specifically remember, I don't know how much time you spent in Miami, but if you spent any time in Miami between, I'm sure it happened way before I was there, 2010 to 2020, if you went to live or you like hung out, you heard about Diddy having parties on Star Island. Like that was, and that reached like a 21-year-old Jew on a Pesach program. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like you knew Diddy was having a party on Star Island. You could see the party like from mainland because his house was so fucking big. And so this idea that
Ben's
like
eating cholent outside the synagogue.
It's like he's
wow.
This idea that he's alone, and like Josh and I spoke about this on a recent episode, like Will Smith recently posted, like, get my name out of there. I had nothing to do with this. I'm not trying to say that he did. It's just, if you were friends with Diddy, you probably did. Like, I don't, like, right? Like, this is very Epstein-y. Is it not?
It's very Epstein-y, but remember, this wasn't the purpose of his parties. The parties were just to show, I'm Diddy, I have a lot of money. Everyone, who was relevant at the time would be at these parties. Are you talking about the white parties, or he's just having parties all the time?
All the time.
All the parties, yeah. So this could happen in an isolated room where the people who are in the know that it's occurring, and he's having these parties upstairs, or he's having these parties to figure out who's down, and then the next day they engage in this.
Sure.
Especially during that time period, Ben, I think everyone wanted to go to a Diddy party. If I was invited, I would have gone.
Yeah.
I would have never thought this was Diddy. I would have never thought that, right? I would have taken pictures. They'd be framed.
Totally. No, because you were excited to go and meet Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No good.
No good.
No good.
I didn't love Puffy. I don't like dating him. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with both the two greatest rappers to ever live not being here anymore.
Yes.
I'm just saying, allegedly, I have no idea. Allegedly, who needs him?
I don't need him. Not me.
We don't need him.
I don't need him. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at David Protein Bars. Folks, I am obsessed with David Protein Bars. Before they started sponsoring this show, I saw all of the TikTok videos. I'm sure you guys saw them too, because David went viral. And the reason that David went viral is because they are that good. We're talking no sugar, literally 150 calories, 28 grams of protein. I mean, what is possibly a better way to get towards your protein goals than that? All we're trying to do is consume less sugar, right? We don't need random sugar in our protein bars. The point of a protein bar is either as a meal replacement or it's to help us reach our protein goals for the day. I'm telling you, folks, the David protein bars are the #1 protein bars. They're absolutely fantastic. David is the least calories for the most protein that you'll find in a bar. Facts. More protein and fewer calories help you increase muscle and decrease body fat. Packed with 28 grams of protein and only 150 calories, 0 grams of sugar, there's no junk. There's no junk. There's just protein. And somehow they made them taste so freaking good. High protein to calorie ratio. 75% of its calories come from protein. 50% higher than any other bar on the market. Also, it's iconic gold packaging. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's incredibly cute. And it helps with muscle maintenance, recovery, and overall health. My favorite by far is the blueberry. It's delicious. It's so good. I love it. Right before every podcast episode, I have a David just in case I get hungry, okay? That's why I always have David protein bars with me, just in case you get a little bit hungry, but you don't want any of the other crap in it. David is offering our listeners a deal today, folks. To buy 4 cartons, get the 5th free at davidprotein.com/goodguys. That's davidprotein.com/goodguys to get your 5th carton free. Folks, that is an amazing deal. It's effectively 20% off. It's wonderful. You should run towards this because it's such a good product. davidprotein.com/goodguys. Humans aren't perfect, but David is. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Riley & Crew. Folks, Riley & Crew is it when it comes to kids, okay? Founded by a mom in 2014, Kelly and her team design all the pieces and illustrate all of the art that you see on the gorgeous Riley & Crew collective clothing. Their team of in-house designers create unique styles you can't find anywhere else. And with a focus on modern baby basics, their Quincy May line is your one-stop shop for baby and toddler essentials, featuring a collection of beautiful, organic baby basics in earthly solid colors and prints. The perfect harmony of quality and style. Each Quincy May garment and accessory is made with 100% organic materials and is GOT certified and ethically made. Their Nora Lee line is their children's occasion wear line, supplying you with the most darling wedding and ceremony styles, tutus and matching mama and mini styles for special moments. How cute is that? And then the Riley & Crew collective spring-summer lines have all launched, and they all have perfect everyday essentials for your child's warm weather wardrobe. They also carry matching swimwear for the family. Plan a matching moment for mom, dad, the kids. Everyone's going to love it on summer vacation. I'm telling you, Riley & Crew is it. Folks, visit rileyandcrew.com/goodguys and use code goodguys for 20% off your first order. That's RYLEE ANDCRU.com/goodguys and use code FAMOUS for 20% off all first-time customers. That's RileyandCrew.com/goodguys and code FAMOUS for 20% off orders for first-time customers.
Last question before our What Are You Nuts? Switching over to, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, another super public trial that's been going on, case that's in the works. Recently, the big thing we hear is that Taylor Swift is going to be subpoenaed.
Yes.
What does that look like? Does she have to appear?
Yes. So here's the thing. They have subpoenaed certain records related to Taylor Swift. Okay. They want to see phone records, it seems. They want to see email records. Now, what her team has done is filed a motion to quash, which means get rid of this subpoena. She has nothing to do with this case. These things don't exist. They're irrelevant. Get rid of it. Why do we even know that what these texts might show? Because a discovery request, a subpoena for certain records doesn't tell you exactly what they're looking for. They just say, I want all your text messages, all your emails. Now, why the public even knows what those emails and texts may say is because Baldoni's team filed a letter to the judge saying, we know they filed a motion to quash. These are very relevant. They are going to show that Taylor Swift and Blake Lively were engaging in these conversations where Blake was asking Taylor, delete our text messages, delete them, right? Get rid of evidence. Now, then we have Blake's side, who then asks the judge to strike that letter from the public record because we would have never seen that letter. Why do we need to know what actually exists? Again, it's a trial by media. We're not even in the litigation. That starts March 2026. This is all pre-lit, all of this, right?
What a disaster.
What a disaster. And so they asked the judge to strike that letter from the record. The judge agreed, stop making this a spectacle, right? But if these things are true, or if they're not, let us see those text messages. Let their side see the text messages. Taylor Swift might be a very relevant player in all of this. She was allegedly at the house when Blake Lively was asking to change that rooftop scene, right? Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift come out and they're like, she's so brilliant. You should do what she's saying, blah, blah, blah. She might be a very relevant player. Her records might be very relevant. And, the media is going crazy over it, but I think Baldoni looked a little bit better in people's eyes before this whole Taylor Swift thing, just because this was a big loss for him, right? The court striking this and saying, listen, do not play with my court record. I don't want letters in here. I don't want you to try to play this through the media. Get rid of it. Stop doing this. And again, Blake Lively, one of her allegations is that Baldoni engaged in a huge smear campaign against her. Right. So, dude, you hired a lawyer who is loving this publicity, and he's literally like, that is someone who would engage in a smear campaign. So if you're hanging out with that guy, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah. How do you put a number on these suits? Like, how does somebody says he's suing for $400 million? How the fuck do you come up with that?
It's a great question. So actually a part of that is the suit against the New York Times for for libel. So they printed information that they found from a civil rights complaint that started this whole thing. Blake Lively, she filed a complaint with the Civil Rights Department about all of, sexual harassment, astroturfing, which is the smear campaign. And he put an amount of $140 million on that suit. Where he came up with that number, I don't know, Justin Baldoni, and you're telling me you have damages in the amount of $140 million?
Because it's against potential what he would have made.
Exactly. It's potential. It's what he would have made, what he has lost. Now, remember, WME dropped him.
Right.
Okay. After this New York Times article came out. So that's a big, big issue. Okay. He 100% lost money. 140 million? I don't know.
Here, fix.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. I want you to be comfortable.
Thank you. It just keeps sliding. My hair is so shiny and soft.
But how much money did Blake Lively lose from this smear campaign? Because I remember we all remember, literally overnight, Blake Lively went from a media darling to you could not find an article pointing out something positive about her. It happened completely overnight. It was clearly a calculated attack, a coordinated attack. Like, it's confusing. So he sues for this. She then countersues for that. Who ends up paying that? He doesn't have $400 million. Is it not worth everybody's time just to settle? You said this doesn't start until March 26th. It's now your entire life. Like, how much does your life cost for 5 years? Like, it's crazy to me.
And what about the Gossip Girl reunion? Is that not happening?
Agreed.
I mean, come on, we just had Chase Crawford. He wouldn't mind.
And what a darling that guy is.
Dreamboat.
My God.
My God.
But wasn't he in a relationship with an octopus on that one show?
Let's keep it to lively.
The boys. Anyway, he's fine. He's making a lot of money. But yes, so 140 with that New York Times suit, 200 something with the other suit, all of that. So listen, sometimes you're like, it's 40 million I may have lost. Let's make it 140 million. Okay. And then they figure out the numbers later. You could also change the number, whatever.
So you can put on any number you want. It's like these fakakta headlines of these podcast deals. This person got a $500 million deal where it only works if you earn it out and you never hit it and they end up with nothing.
Listen,
like it's like a
those for sure are bullshit.
So these are all just like
unless we get one.
Unless you get one. Your $25 million contract that's coming through the pipeline very soon. That's not bullshit.
God bless you.
What's 25? What are you nuts? We need it. Josh, we can make up the number. We had a $1 billion
You know what? You're
deal.
right. You're right. And you're having a baby. You're having a $250 million contract.
I want to be paid in uranium.
Listen, the numbers are supposed to be backed by proof. I had this project, that project. All my projects are about $20 million averaging right now. Once It Ends With Us comes out, I'm even more popular. Most likely I'll be making $30 million a film, right? But when you have these cases where there are just multiple cases going on, again, like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial that we saw, you could be saying 140, you could be saying 160. You both win. It's really 20 million from one side to the other, right? It just cancels each other out. And Baldoni, it's very interesting. He's being backed by a billionaire. His partner for Wayfarer Studios is a billionaire who is footing the whole bill. It's his future also on the line. So he's footing the whole bill. I really would hope that these people would settle, but I think there's so much damage done already. Like so much hate. And Ben, you really, you would be a dream client, right? You're sensible. You're thinking, you guys, stress for over 2 years. You want to be this stressed for over 2 years. You both look bad.
Right.
What are you doing? Right?
How do you even work? Like, you can't work.
Right. Well, I mean, Blake Lively, I've never seen her out and about more. This woman has
she now has to work to repair her image.
Okay,
right?
that's very true.
But how does Baldoni work?
That's
how do you do anything?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
He was very behind the scenes, like a behind the scenes kind of guy before all of this. So for him, I mean, he still has projects. He has a Scarlett Johansson project coming out. But he's very much, really in the background now. He's not trying to show face anywhere. It's a very serious case. Sexual harassment is part of it, right? Smear campaign. That's a very big offense also. And some argue, was it really a smear campaign when people are just playing videos of you being a bitch?
I personally, I'm not saying that he did it. I don't know who did it. There was 100% a coordinated attack against Blake Lively.
I agree with you.
I don't know who did it, what the reason was. Just because you have these videos doesn't mean they all come out at the exact same time over one weekend. Like, all of a sudden she went from like untouchable to the polar opposite. So that is a smear campaign.
But there's a virality component too that you guys both know. One person gets a 24 million view video, and then it does go that whole weekend. Everyone's posting about Blake.
That's true. Maybe it's the TikTok effect. Maybe all of a sudden we're seeing, like, for the first time, what happens when you have a really high profile legal case and you have a viral platform like TikTok where people are just manipulating and sharing and view hunting, and that's interesting. I don't know.
You guys seem pretty set in your opinions about this. I don't have an opinion about it as much. Sorry, I'm just going to get to a quick ad read really quick. This episode's brought to you by Mint Mobile. Here at Mint Mobile,
wait.
Ryan Reynolds founded wireless company. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking.
You really got me. Holy that was
Limor.
great. Limor.
Limor.
He had a problem with just my last name.
Limor.
Yeah,
Limor, I
okay,
mean,
yeah.
I
And you're
fucked it up.
Jewish? No, you're not.
I know, I'm bad.
You're
Limor. Limor.
This is Madagascar.
Oh my God. I don't care if Claudia knows my name. It's okay.
Limor. Can you shout out? First of all, you are now our political consultant. You're
100%.
our legal attaché, our commentator. We love you.
Thank
Come
you.
back, please. You've been
You will be back.
fabulous.
I will be
Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out to the people?
Listen, I've been so nervous because I'm such a big fan. Okay. I even told Josh yesterday, I'm like, 3 Jews. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So number one, thank you both for having me. So much fun. Yes, I do want to plug my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube. I'm at Lawyer Limor on the platforms that matter. I have a podcast, Love and Order. It's been featured everywhere. No multi-million-dollar contracts yet.
But now you're here.
One day.
You can make
now
it
I'm
up.
Here. There we
You
go.
can make
you
it
know
up.
what? I rejected a $5 million contract because I'm waiting for the $25 million contract.
Yeah, exactly. Lie.
Us too, I think.
So thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
So as a fan, you know.
Yep.
I hope you have. If you don't have one, we'll.
I know
start
it's
with
coming.
ours. Okay. Our What Are You Nuts moment of the week are our gripes with people, places, and things, both big and small. Everything sticking in your craw. We'll start. Give you a moment to think about it. I'll start with mine. I don't know if you can see because I have been scrubbing my fingers. I'm not sure if you can see. They're a little red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're a
gross.
little
Why
red.
aren't you wearing a Band-Aid?
Because it's not blood. It's hot Cheetos powder. What are you nuts? I want to be.
Nuts.
Listen, shout out the Frito-Lay company, organization. Shout out. We love. We stand.
We stand. Yes.
We stand. This is like a scarlet letter.
That is so embarrassing.
It is. Walking around.
It is.
I want to
It
have
is.
enjoyed a delicious hot Cheeto while I'm driving, listening to, I don't know, Barbra Streisand, whatever I do. It's not your business, guys. But I don't want this all out here. Can we have a hot Cheeto dust removing gel, a Solve, something? What are you nuts?
Yeah. No.
Yes,
I
I think
agree.
it's called
Wow.
washing your hands. What are you nuts?
I did. It's stained. This is a guy who's never had hot Cheetos with your
my God.
privilege.
Oh God.
I've had hot Cheetos, please. You remember my story about in camp where we shoved those 13 cheese balls up that kid's ass? Like I've had Cheetos.
No. Ew.
I know. I'm so
I
sorry
know.
for
Oh
him.
my God.
You're upsetting
He-
me more. You're upsetting
By the way,
her.
Limor, he's happy. He's great. He loved it.
Are they still up there?
Who knows if they ever really got up there? Okay, this is a folklore.
God, this is disgusting.
What's
Look,
what's
a
the
cheese
statute of
ball-
limitations on cheese up your tush?
A cheese ball really just evaporates. He can't push a whole cheese ball. They break.
I know.
Okay.
Dad, who's the
Break.
mother?
Oh my
Ben.
God.
They
Oh
break.
My God. I'm glad my baby's not here. She's in the lobby.
My what are you nuts moment of the week is that I have overdosed on yet another supplement. I'm having an issue on my Eastern journey. I was told by somebody that oil of oregano was fantastic for general health. It was really great for when you get a cold. I thought, I get sinus infections all the time. I'll just take it regularly to prevent them from coming. You can't do this, Josh. You can't do it. I overdosed on oil of oregano. I don't exactly know what happened to me. I wasn't feeling good. I was lethargic. I looked it up. This is a what are you nuts? Nobody overdoses on oil of oregano. Like this is a
You
me
overdosed
problem.
on magnesium a month ago.
I know, Josh. There is such thing as too much of a good thing.
GNC
There
yourself
is.
out, would you? What are you doing? It's enough already, you meshuggah.
There is such thing as too much of a good thing. I need to go to whatever the anonymous is for homeopathic remedies. This is no good.
You need to go to a doctor.
No, I don't.
You need to go to Equinox.
Even
and
if
you
it's-
need these
Oh, yeah.
supplements.
The West is evil. The West
But
is evil.
they will answer your questions about supplements.
No, they won't. I'm just gonna call Gary Breck up. It's all good.
Don't get me started on Gary Brecka.
Limor, do you have yours?
Yes. So mine is just a general overarching, what are you nuts to any couples, okay, who don't have a prenup. This is not a plug to come to me, but what are you doing in this day and age where we are all young professionals getting married in our 30s, unless you're an Orthodox Jew like Ben and Claudia? What are you doing when you have these amazing companies that you're building and then you get married without a prenup? Grow up, be an adult, put your big adult panties on and get your prenups. What are you, nuts?
Get those big panties.
Panties it up.
Panties it up.
Wow, prenup.
Perfect.
We messed up, Ben.
Oh,
Totally.
wow. Oh.
I'll tell you, well, we'll save it for the next pod. All right, take us home, Ben.
Well, folks, this was 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you, nuts? Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Share our clips, Instagram and TikTok, Mondays and Thursdays. Limor, thank you so much. We will see you next time.